We see normal people getting arrested for their crimes all the time. But are things really the same when the criminal is famous? Here are 3 cases of celebrities who got arrested. And boy, did things go south. The first case is the arrest of Antonio Brown. On November 28, 2023, cops were called to Brown's residence because he had supposedly thrown a shoe at someone, hitting them in the ponytail. The person he threw the shoe at did not have any injuries, but they were concerned that the shoe was meant to hit her head. The twist in the story is that the victim was also the mother of his kids. The body cam footage shows cops constantly trying to talk to him, telling him that he's not gonna be in trouble.
I'll talk to you. Crack out so I can hear you. You know what I mean? They're over there. It's only me. I'm right here. You're not in trouble, man.
But Brown's too paranoid to pay attention. Even the body cam footage fails to capture what Brown's trying to say.
Do you have a screen on the front door? I mean, just so I can talk to you, so I can hear you.
The cop isn't even trying to arrest him, but Brown's too scared of whatever's gonna come next. If you look closely, it's almost like the cop is trying to talk to a little child, even though he's supposedly responsible for something terrible. It's clear that he just wants to be rid of the cops, but they're not going to let go so easily. The victim is adamant about wanting her things back.
Can we at least give her back her ID and stuff real quick? Can we do that? Oh, you don't have it? Oh, there's nothing in there?
All while Brown keeps insisting that none of her things are in there.
So there's no purse or nothing up? Okay.
The only way the officer sees a way through Brown is by assuring him he's going to be fine.
That's why when I saw the call, they didn't call me because they don't. Well, that's what I'm saying. I remember I saw the call and I was like, hey, maybe he'll talk to me because we had a good interaction. You know what I mean? Well, listen, no matter.
After hours of the same thing over and over, Brown finally begins to cooperate.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not here to dispute either way. Oh, I know you're not. I know you're not. Oh, the solution is just to let her get her stuff, and that's it. Oh, and then I would be with you. I'll hang out with you while she gets it. I'll go with her.
It seemed like Brown would finally listen, but instead, he begins having a meltdown right inside his house. He continues to refuse to give in to the officers. At one point, the cops even consider busting down the door to get in, but they back off. Eventually, they have no choice but to file a warrant for Brown's arrest. But in a twist of events, a few days later, the woman who accused Brown of domestic violence filed papers to drop the charges, calling the arrest warrant frivolous and unconstitutional. The next case is about Zavin Collins. On June 20th, 2021, around 10:04 in the morning, an officer spotted a red Mercedes speeding at 76 miles per hour in a 35-mile zone near Scottsdale and Chaparral Roads. Turns out, this officer was on patrol because people in the area had been complaining about speeding cars. Just in time, he caught this Mercedes passing multiple vehicles recklessly. The radar clocked it at 72 miles per hour initially, and then 76 miles per hour as it was about to turn right onto Scottsdale Road. When the driver was pulled over, it turned out that he was Zavin Collins, the Cardinals' first-round draft pick.
How's it going, officer?
You tell me how it's going, man.
Good,
Jeez, what are you doing?
I'm going to pick up my friend. Golly.
Where are you picking up your friend from?
From the hotel. I had an Airbnb and I was like, hey, we gotta go.
Okay.
Leaving town tomorrow.
You have any idea how fast you were going?
No, sir.
76.
No, I was not going that
You were
fast.
76 miles an hour.
Notice how calm and collected Collins is, even as the officer lets him know that he was speeding like crazy.
Oh, I apologize. I
You were
have no
41 miles an hour over.
I have no recollection.
It's clear that he doesn't understand the implications of just how fast he was going. The officer gets right into it, verifying all of Collins' details. The cop doesn't treat him differently, even though he's supposed to be a big name.
All right, do you have the registration insurance?
Yeah. It's just right here in my address. It's just
Okay, any weapons?
no, no
Okay.
sir, no sir.
You're good. I copy. I'll double check it.
He completes his investigation like he would with any other individual who was breaking the law this badly. Eventually, Collins is asked to step out of his car.
All right, partner, go ahead and step out of the car for me.
Oh,
You just put your phone
While Collins stays calm, it's clear that he's a bit baffled.
behind your back and be placed under
Somehow, he didn't expect to be arrested simply because he didn't think this was an offense serious enough to lead to his arrest. But as the reality of the situation sets in, he realizes that he's in trouble.
so I was very cooperative. You guys can't help me out really any.
It doesn't matter how cooperative you are when you're going 76 on my city
Okay, yeah,
street.
no, I
So,
realize.
This is where the negotiations begin.
you're not-
He tries his best to convince the cops that because he's been cooperative, they should give him some kind of benefit.
So it's basically just because I was going too fast. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, here in Arizona, anything over 20 is excessive, and that's a
You
misdemeanor
guys
at
are
that
welcome to
point.
do whatever. You guys can.
The cops keep it straightforward with it.
Weapons on you.
No talks about his celebrity status, and their focus remains on the crime at hand. You've got to give it to the officers for doing their job the way they should. However, that doesn't stop Collins from trying his luck once
You'll
again.
get it when you get out.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Man, I think that's really it, guys. I mean, you guys.
Like I said, at this point, you put us in a difficult spot. Anything over the 20, but like I said, it's a quick.
Look, I'm gonna be completely honest, man.
You guys,
Like,
I've been cool.
No,
I've been
you-
chill. Like,
I'm not saying you haven't.
Can you please?
And
like, please,
but at
sir?
this point, when we're this much over the speed limit,
But,
like
sir,
there's
It's
really
almost like he was begging for them to go lenient at this point. One thing's clear. Collins is not in the mood to face the consequences of his actions, and he wants the officers to let him go. He tries every tactic he can, even though he stays calm and collected throughout. In the end, there was just no excuse for him to be going that fast. Collins was then taken to jail, where he was booked and released a few hours later the same day. It wasn't anything serious, but Collins was probably scared of the impact his arrest would have on his career. Safe to say, everything was fine, and if anything, he would never speed like that again. The last case is about David Koechner. Yep, the actor from Anchorman got arrested again for the second time in 5 months, and it wasn't a very good look on him. On June 1st, 2022, around 10:04 in the morning, Koechner was driving in Ohio when state troopers spotted him swerving all over the place. When they pulled him over, they could smell alcohol on him from a mile away. However, they had to get through all the standard procedures to confirm if David was actually drunk. The questioning starts off easy, even though the cops are aware that several things are wrong. They don't jump on David immediately.
How much we have to drink tonight? One beer or one shot of liquor or what? No, one beer. One beer? Okay. I'm just gonna ask you to step out and run you through a couple things, make sure you're safe to drive, okay?
But then, it starts to get a bit serious as they get to the point. It's hard to tell if David's aware of what's coming next, but he definitely knows that it's not gonna be good. Eventually, David ends up having to partake in field sobriety tests. The officer holds the pen up and asks David to follow it with his eyes.
You don't want you to move your head or anything. Be the tip of the pen right there.
But even after doing the test once, he doesn't seem satisfied. So he puts David through the test once again. After this, the cops move on with the second test, and it's safe to say that David has a hard time keeping his weight stable.
It's up to you. I know you have boots on. If you want to take it with your boots on, that's fine. If you want to do it with your boots off, that's fine. I just want to give you the option. Okay. That's all right. You can go ahead and get back in that starting position. So you're going to be in the starting position that you're in. It's the way I'm standing as well. And it'll look like this. 1, 2, 3. I took 3 heel-to-toe steps. You'll take 9. On that 9th step, I want you to keep your front foot touching the ground. Use your other foot to turn yourself around with a series of small steps, just like so. Once you turn yourself around, I'll have you take another 9 back. 1, 2, 3. Again, I took 3 heel-to-toe steps. You'll take 9 heel-to-toe steps. Do you have any questions?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You know, turn yourself around like I showed you and do the other 9 back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just like that. All right, the next thing I'll ask you to do, sir, is just stand on my light there for me. Turn and face me. All right, just stand with your feet together. Hands down your side, don't move, so I'm told you to. You understand? All right, what I'm going to have
Things weren't looking so good for David after this, but then they moved on to the one-leg stand
You may
test.
begin when you're ready.
2001,
Sorry. Look, you can pick it up, resume where you left off.
2001, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You can keep picking it up, resume where you left off.
Yes, sir.
You remember where you left off?
5,
Okay.
4 actually.
Well, that made things pretty clear for anyone who had doubts about David's condition. There's nothing more left to say and do after he fails the test so badly. So, David gets arrested.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to handcuff you and Mirandize you. Advise you of your rights, and we can talk about.
Eventually, David was arrested for operating a vehicle while impaired. In Ohio, they call it OVI, not DUI. This marked David's second arrest for driving under the influence in just 6 months. Keckner, who's also been in shows like The Office and The Goldbergs, apparently refused to take a breathalyzer test. This wasn't a smart move, because he couldn't conceal his condition for long. The way he looked and smelled was a clear indication that he was drunk. If he were to be convicted, he would have faced some serious consequences. Up to 6 months in prison, a hefty fine, community service, and he would have had to go to a driver's intervention program. Not a fun situation to be in. 6 months before this incident, in late 2021, David got arrested in California for the same thing. At the time, he was driving erratically, and the cops had to step in. He was facing up to 6 months in jail, but in the end, he only got probation. A few months later, he was back to doing the same thing again. Keckner didn't say anything about the arrest. In the end, David was found guilty of misdemeanor, which meant that he could end up facing 3 days in jail. Thanks for watching.